In the quiet countryside of Japan, there is a story parents still whisper before their children visit their grandparents. A story about a tall, faceless woman who watches from the tree line and never blinks. They call her Hachishakusama, the 8-foot-tall woman, and if you ever hear a strange laugh behind you in an empty field, they say you should never, ever turn around. This story begins decades ago, in a small farming village surrounded by rice fields and old cedar forests. A teenage boy, we'll call him Hiroshi, was sent to spend his summer holiday with his grandparents, deep in the countryside, far from the city lights he was used to. His grandparents lived alone in an old wooden house at the edge of the village, the kind of house where the floorboards creak even when no one is walking on them. On his second evening there, Hiroshi was sitting on the porch when he heard it, a strange, low sound drifting in from the rice fields. Poporo-poporo-poropan, a rhythmic, almost playful laugh, like a child clapping in a strange, broken beat. He turned to his grandmother and asked what it was. Her face went pale. "Don't look," she said quietly. "Whatever you do, do not go outside, and do not look toward the sound." Hiroshi
Grandma,
laughed it off
who is
at
that
first.
standing at the tree
It
line?
sounded silly, an old superstition from a small village. But his
Who is that
grandmother's
standing at the
hands were
tree
shaking
line?
as she closed every window in the house and pulled the curtains shut. That night, his grandfather sat him down and told him the truth. Long ago, a tall woman began appearing near the village during the summer months. No one knew where she came from. She stood nearly 8 feet tall, always in the distance, near the tree line, at the edge of the fields, sometimes just past the garden gate. Her face was never clear. Some said it looked human. Others said it didn't look like anything at all. She never came closer. She only watched. And every few years, a child in the village would vanish without a trace, always a few days after the strange laughing sound was heard. Hiroshi didn't sleep well that night. Around midnight, he woke to the same sound. Closer now. Poporo-poporo-poropan. He told himself it was just an animal. A bird. Maybe. But he couldn't help it. He crept to the window and pulled back the curtain just an inch. There, at the edge of the rice field, half hidden by the mist, stood a shape. Tall. Too tall. Its silhouette rose far above the height of any person he had ever seen, motionless against the dark tree line. He didn't see a face. He didn't need to. Something about the stillness of it made his whole body go cold. He let the curtain fall and did not move from his bed for the rest of the night. Over the next 2 days, the laughter came again, sometimes near the fields, sometimes disturbingly close to the house itself. Hiroshi's grandparents barely let him step outside, and when he did, it was never alone. On the third night, his grandfather asked him to help carry something to the shed near the back of the property. Just a short walk, only for a few minutes. Halfway there, Hiroshi heard footsteps behind him. Heavy, slow, deliberate. Every part of him wanted to turn around, but he remembered his grandmother's words. "Don't look." He kept walking, faster now, his heart pounding in his ears. The footsteps matching his pace exactly, never closer, never farther. By the time he reached the shed door, his hands were trembling too hard to open it. His grandfather grabbed his shoulder from behind and pulled him inside, slamming the door shut. Neither of them said a word. They simply stood there, listening, as the slow footsteps circled the shed once, and then faded into silence. Hiroshi never saw the tall woman up close. He never learned what would have happened if he'd turned around, and he never wanted to find out. He left the village at the end of the summer and never spent another night there again. To this day, people in certain rural parts of Japan still tell children the same warning his grandmother gave him. If you hear a strange, rhythmic laugh in the distance during the summer, do not look toward it, do not follow it, and whatever you do, do not let curiosity turn your head. Because in the old stories, Hachishakusama doesn't chase the ones who run. She waits for the ones who look back. If this story gave you chills, you're not alone. Hachishakusama remains one of the most talked about urban legends in Japan to this day. Let us know in the comments if you've ever heard of her. And subscribe for more real urban legends from around the world, told the way locals still whisper them today.